What's up my loves, my name is Paige, this is Pages with Paige, and today we're going to be doing my November wrap up. The reality of the fact that it is in the last month of December is wigging my brain out. But I need to talk through the books that I read in November, which there was 8. Which is the lowest numerical value of books I've read this year. In terms of page count, however, there were still some chunky monkeys that buffered it. There is also one book, Ship of Destiny, as I mentioned in my TBR video, that I'm part of the way through. So I'm just going to count that and roll it over. I've put 400 pages, I think, into it currently out of 900, so I'm chugging along with it, and that buffers these stats by about 400 pages, but I haven't actually included it, and we'll just include it in my December wrap up. So yeah, I started a challenge that impacted on what I was reading, and I hadn't really catered my TBR to go with this challenge, so we've hit a little bit of chaos, and that's fine. But as a result, I read 8 books, and I'm still really proud of what I did get read, but let's talk through the statistics. So with those 8 books, it equated to 3,079 pages, which equates to 103 pages per day, which is a little bit more if you're counting in Ship of Destiny, and 385 pages per book. My average rating was a 4.5, which is one of the highest months I think I've had. In terms of genres, I read 1 dystopian, 4 fantasy, 1 mystery, 1 paranormal, and 1 poetry. In terms of format, I read 1 ebook, 2 ebook audiobook combinations, and 5 physical audiobook combos. In terms of age, I read 1 middle grade, 3 YA, and 4 adult. In terms of rating, I had 3 5 stars, 3 4.5s, 1 4-star, and 1 3.5. I read 3 standalones. I started 4 new series and continued on with 1. One of those is up to date as well because it was the first book and it's the only book that's currently published, so yay! My biggest book was The Night Circus, which was 626 pages, not including Ship of Destiny, and my smallest book was Sonder and Mori, which was 72 pages. My listening time was about 34.5 hours. And in terms of publication date, I read 1 from 1993, 2 from 2011 to 2015, 2 from 2020, 1 from 2021, and 2 from 2022. So let's talk about the books themselves. The first book that I read, I wanted to start off nice and easy. I knew that I needed to get it done as it was part of my Advent reading challenge, and that was Sonder and Mori by K.E. Andrews. One of the prompts that I got given was a book by an author that was born in the same year as me. In the previous book I had for this, I realized that the representation that it was supposedly putting forth wasn't the best. So I put into the India Chords Discord and asked if there were any authors that were born in 1995, and K.E. Andrews responded saying, yeah, that's me. So I was like, alright, let's go check out their stuff. And I read Sonder and Mori and gave it 5 stars. Before I forget, let's mark off the Advent. So it's just down here. Oh my god, everything is so close to being done. There's that little one. So we've got there and there. Oh! And the corners if you count that. So exciting. So this was a really beautiful poetry collection that really just hit home. There were a lot of things that they spoke about in the collection that was like, yes, I know these feelings, I've experienced these emotions, I've very much resonated with the content that was in it, and I absolutely loved the reading process. It is independently published, and I'm just super happy to be able to have supported K.E. Andrews, and I will continue to pick up their stuff because they've got a little bit of a backlog that I would love to get to. A very nice, easy way to start off my month because it was 72 pages and it was a poetry collection, and then ended up being one of my favorites of the year. So very happy for that to have started off my month. From there, I wanted to continue on with my 5-star prediction video and see how many I can knock off before the end of the year, so hopefully I don't have any rolling over into 2023. And I ended up picking up Iron Widow by Joanne J. Zhao, and I gave this a 4.5. I think there was just something, I think it was more a me problem than the book problem for why it wasn't a 5 stars, and I think I knew going in that there was the risk with it being tech and mecha not being completely my vibe, and I was right with that. I loved every other aspect of it, just the mechanics that they were talking about I didn't really have as much interest in, so that was the only aspect that I was like, yeah, cool, giant fighting robots, yeah, okay, cool. It was done well, but it's just not a passionate area of mine. The polyamory relationship, the female empowerment, the conversations about who you are as a person, your value in society, society, all of that. Absolutely 100% my shit. So definitely a me problem, not the book. I really loved it. I did find our protagonists to be slightly annoying, but I can also deal with complex characters, and they're definitely going through a lot. They also have a disability, which was very powerful to read, and there was so much to love, and I can see why everyone absolutely loved it. Then I needed to get City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare done for the BookStara read along, and I gave it a 3.5. I don't hate these books, and I like this one more than the third and fourth book. I enjoyed this more. I feel like we're finally actually progressing along and doing more, not just having angsty relationships. But yeah, I think Amy and I are both just like needed to get this done. I sped through it. I had an okay time, so 3.5. Then I read Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse and gave this a 4.5 as well. This one is closer to being a 5 stars. I can't figure out why it's not. It just doesn't have that same woof. But the things that happen in this book are absolutely like mind-blowing, and you start off running, which was amazing. I needed something so quick and captivating. The magic system is so intricate and just multifaceted and fascinating. So I really enjoyed this, and I definitely want to pick up Fevered Star. I want to see where this story is going, because it's going, and I had a lot of fun with it. I also appreciated the range of commentary that was in this, dealing with your place, your value, your sense of identity, your sense of self, and just trying to do the right thing. So it was a really awesome read. And as you can see with Iron Widow and Black Sun, they were both from my 5-star prediction video, and they were also the first books in series. So that is where I had issue. Technically, I don't think Iron Widow, oh my god, this is so exciting. Okay, I think 2 are currently up to date, because I know that the last book I read, the second one's not coming out till March, but Iron Widow, I don't think that's out either. So 2 up to date. I might have started 4, but 2 are up to date. Good job. Because that was my problem with putting the starts of series as 5-star predictions. That is where chaos entered the picture. Completely my fault in that regard. Then I read The June Boys by Court Stevens. So this was an arc that I had from NetGalley. I gave it a 4 stars. I can understand why people, especially mystery buffs, wouldn't have liked this much, but I had a lot of fun with it. I thought the characters feel like they had some facets of interest, and I did not see where the story was going. So yeah, I ended up having a lot of fun. It was very quick, and I got heavily invested in it. Next up, I read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and I was buddy reading this with Nat from Nat Cat's Bookish Cafe, Danielle from BookStara, and Amy from A-Star Reads. So I loved reading this. We tabbed it out and read it over 2 weeks, and it was so hard to stop. I actually ended up giving this a 5-star. Come for me in the comments, it's fine. I left this in such a place of awe, and I realized how much I disliked the Starless Sea in the process. Personally, for my vote, if you want to read a Erin Morgenstern, start with the Starless Sea, and then you get to read this and find out how amazing it is. Everything about this I loved. I loved the whimsical. I loved being lost in this world. Every section of every day I just got sucked into the story, and I didn't want to put it down, but obviously because we were buddy reading it, I was like, okay. And I think having that and doing that and drawing out my reading experience for it was the perfect way for it. I know that Danielle and Nat was doing a reread and ended up bumping up her rating for this time, and I think Danielle liked it. She gave it a 4 stars, but it wasn't the same level as Amy and I that were just like gushing over this. So I ended up absolutely falling head over heels for this. This is exactly the kind of fantasy that I just love and I fall for, and I'm very much appreciative of it coming into my life at the right time. I loved the little romance element to it, but it wasn't like overbearing, I suppose, and there was just a lot of mystery to it, and yeah, I really appreciate it, and it caught me by surprise, because I thought I was going to give it a 4.5 until I finished it, and then went, no, actually this is sitting in my heart as a 5-star. And with that, we've got my advent just up here for it. I'm so excited. So let's put that little dude in there. So now we're across the top row. Oh, I'm so excited. Next up, I read Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler and gave this 5 stars. I am deeply invested in their work. I thought the religious themes and the way that they approached theology and beliefs and the whole dystopian society was just amazing. This, I was reading it the entire way through. I was like, yep, 5 stars, hands down. Octavia E. Butler just knows how to write, and it really hits hard. I really liked that it was told in journal entries and really just made it so relatable to the character. And it was all like absolutely horrifying what happens, but oh my god, it was so interesting. And so I definitely need to get to Parable of the Talents, and I'm so thankful for Tracy for sending this to me for my birthday. And I'm going to be an Octavia E. Butler gush fest from here on out. They are one of my favorite authors of all time, and I've only read Kindred and this, so we'll see how the rest of it goes. But I definitely want to dive into the next book. And also, why do I feel like this was a 5-star prediction as well? Because it was. This was also on my 5-star prediction list. I'm an idiot and didn't realize how far behind I was, and the fact that I had 7. That's right. Okay, I'm back up to speed now. Yes, so I had 7, not 5, and that's where I was so confused. So this was a 5-star prediction, and I did give it 5 stars. I absolutely adored this, and I cannot wait to continue on. Then the last book that I read was Kelsey Murphy and the Academy for the Unbreakable Arts by Erica Lewis, and again had this as an arc from NetGalley, and I ended up giving this a 4.5. It's very reminiscent of Nevermore, and I had so much fun with it. I really appreciated the characters, and just they were very wholesome little beings. The story was very run-of-the-mill, chosen one, discovering their powers, but I thought it was done in a really unique way. And sort of the vibes I get from Nevermore and from the Septimus Heap series, they are just something that's comforting because it's middle grade and we know how it goes, but it's done so well and so differently that you sort of just fall in love with it. And so this is also a first book in a series, but the second one is coming out in either March or May of next year, and I'm very excited to pick it up because this has become something that feels very comforting and definitely like home. These are 5 out of the 8 books. Damn, that's got a very thematic style. I love it. Hey, 5 out of the 8 books that I read in the month of November. Let me know in the comments what was the best read that you had in November, and or your worst, if you want to steer us away. Hopefully you had a fantastic reading month, but yeah, let me know your best and or worst in the comments down below. And if you like this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of this mess, feel free to subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you on my next video. Bye!